In the name of one God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen.
Amen.
The separation of church and state, implemented to protect the freedom of religion, has come to mean for some that religious leaders should never express a political opinion or criticize the government. But what is one to do when the land one loves is ruled by a family of heartless and paranoid despots? What is one to do when those in power use fear and intimidation to keep detractors from speaking out about wrongdoing and injustice? The Herods, father and son, ruled from 37 BCE to 39 CE. The elder, Herod the Great, tried to kill Jesus after the Magi told him that a new king would soon be born. Furious that someone might challenge his rule, Herod had all boys under the age of 2 massacred. His son, Herod Antipas, had John the Baptist beheaded in retaliation for his criticism of Herod's behavior. In today's gospel, we hear Jesus being warned, "Watch out, Herod wants to kill you." Jesus angered the powers that be because he was deeply political. He offered a totally new vision of what human life could be. "My kingdom," he said, "is not of this world. So go tell that fox Herod, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing." Jesus was going to keep on following the ethics taught in the Hebrew Bible, feeding the poor, protecting the weak, welcoming the stranger and alien. He was not going to worry about the egos of the powerful. He would continue to advocate for the marginalized and call out those whom he felt were abusing their wealth and privilege. He was not going to be intimidated by the fear tactics of those in power. In the Gospel of Luke especially, we see that Jesus had a persistent desire to gather in all who had been cast out. In Luke's account, it was the shepherds, migrant poor who were viewed with suspicion, who were the first to hear of Jesus' birth. In Luke, it was a peasant girl who sang, "My soul magnifies the Lord. He has lifted up the lowly." And also in Luke, a father welcomes home a son who has squandered his inheritance. And today we hear Jesus declare that he longed to protect all who would come to him. He cries out, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how I have longed to gather you as a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wings." Jesus describes himself as a mother. There is nothing fiercer than a love a mother has for her child who is suffering. She will do anything she can to shelter them from danger. I know that I would rather take all the brunt of misfortune than to see my children hurting. When writing about this passage, author Barbara Brown Taylor observed that Jesus won't be the king of the jungle in this or any other story. What he will be is a mother hen who stands between the chicks and those who mean to do them harm. She has no fangs, no claws, no rippling muscles. All she has is her willingness to shield her babies with her own body. If the fox wants them, he will have to kill her first. What a beautiful image of the love of God. Arms wide open, inviting all to come and gather together where they will be nurtured and kept safe at any cost, even if it means suffering and death for the one holding them close. This is the self-sacrificing love of God that Jesus demonstrated for us. And who is it that is invited into the shelter of God's loving heart? Jerusalem, Jerusalem, said Jesus. Jerusalem was the world to Jesus, the center of all that was. Jerusalem contained great diversity of people, Romans and Judeans, Greeks and Jews, visitors from near and far. It included lepers and tradesmen, slaves and free. Even Herod was part of Jesus' Jerusalem. Herod, too, was invited into the heart of God. Sometimes I think the heart of God must be breaking. I hear it in the words of Jesus' lament. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I have desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. I hear in those words his anguish, his vulnerability, and his helplessness to open the eyes and the hearts of the people he loves. I can see him waiting with arms outstretched, ready to welcome all who would come to him, and longing to give sanctuary to all who are in danger or any kind of trouble or distress. We are living in an age of the utmost anxiety and fear. Whether it is the political climate change, or our personal circumstances, there are plenty of reasons for us to be deeply unsettled. My heart has been especially broken this week, with news of tragedies and losses, news of violence and massacre, news of hate and greed. But instead of being paralyzed by sadness and fear, instead of being overwhelmed with despair, Jesus calls us to meet the things that frighten us with our faith, with the knowledge that God is ever near to each and every one of us, come what may. The answer to all that frightens us is the love of God, the kind of love demonstrated by Jesus, pure, constant, and unafraid. God's dream is to gather all people into the embrace of God's love. God promises a place of refuge where all may be free from fear. In the safety and security of God's love, we can live the lives that God has called us to, in a community of love and belonging, close to the heart of God. And this vision of God's beloved community is ours to take with us into every aspect of our lives, including our politics, to shape our vision of the care that's to be given to all of creation and to all people. May that vision inspire us to action. Amen.